meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of 10 PDC ranking events is Chisnall! Former Premier League champion, it's the machine, James Wade!
From that, Dave Chisnall, James Wade, match 2, the Betway Premier League live from the West Point Arena here in Exeter, Thursday night at the darts. These two played well last week without getting a result.
Yeah, they did. Dave with the 109 and lost, but he had darts for a draw, 2 darts at 32. James Wade missed 9 darts for a draw against Adrian Lewis. They were both different performances because James really had to kind of fight for it, but eventually coming up short. It was just one of those odd legs that crops up every now and again, but they'd both be wanting to put that right. And I just think it's down to James Wade keeping with Chizzy in the scoring stakes and then taking out the odd dart at tops, because I think he will be outscored.
Chizzy is a ferocious scorer, isn't he?
It is a very, very good grouper. Once that first start goes in, a bit like the top scorers in the world, if that first start goes in, is relentless, whereas James seems to hold the line a bit better than Dave. It's an intriguing game for me.
Picking up the commentary, Rod Harrington and Rod Studd, boys.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, Dave Chisnall leads the stats in maximums, but hasn't won for 3 weeks.
100.
Draw against Michael Smith, sandwiched in between defeats to Adrian Lewis and Phil Taylor, and James Wade is also 3 matches without a win. 3 straight defeats to Taylor, Wright and Lewis. Are they fading forces in the 2016 Premier League, or have they got something up their sleeve to find their way back up the table? Be a bitter blow, Rod, to whoever loses, because you go 4 without a win in this rarefied air, you sink very quickly.
Yes, you certainly do. And once you start getting the drift of the others, the pressure is on more and more each week. As Wayne said, I mean, both players played quite well, but both players are having indifferent legs in their matches.
24.
Dave Chisnall, you know, to try and get over the line, he starts to snatch the dart a little bit. And with James Wade, it will be interesting tonight to see he's starting to go on his left foot, his toes, as he's releasing
59.
the dart under pressure. So a couple of faults, if you can call it faults, with these great players, and we'll see how they form this evening.
Starting the match, Chisnall 7th on the league ladder, 3 points from 4 games. Wade 6th, 4 points from 5 games. Remember, he played twice up in Newcastle and Thornton was under the weather. And he's given himself a squeak of a break in the first leg here, the machine.
140. James Record 142.
Well, he's not going to take it out, but he just wants to put some pressure on. That's a great set-up shot from Dave Chisnall. The 140 to leave 56 gives him 2 darts.
56.
The double top. Yeah, he's going that route. Double top. Needs to clean this up nice, and that's the snatch we were talking about. That wasn't.
To the first leg. Dave Chisnall tackling James.
You see the first dart. It was nearly an inch low. As long as you hit the double with the visit, it doesn't really matter.
There's James Wade, hits the first maximum of the match. Only a couple in that first game, both of them to Phil Taylor.
140.
Wade had 5 last week in defeat, 5 against Michael Van Gerwen in the first round of matches as well.
60.
He has upped his maximum output a bit in recent matches. Never by any stretch a prodigious maximum hitter,
140.
unlike Chisnall.
No, you're right, Rodders. He's more of a 140 man, but probably for the last 6 months, perhaps even a year, he has upped those 140 count. However, he's not getting a lot of great wins out of using them 180s, and that's the problem. I mean, 180s are always going to hurt your opponent against the throw. One of the times to rattle them in.
91.
The 1-2-1, we see James Wade take these sort of shots out quite regular. He doesn't want to really let Chisnall back for the 130. Now he wants the ball, and the ball's iron is for James Wade. I said he tends to take these out pretty regular, and he opens up his leg with a 1-2-1.
Well, that's the third 1-2-1 that James Wade has taken out in the Premier League this year. It is his highest finish of the event up to press, and he's had a hat-trick of them.
100.
The highest finish so far in the Premier League. 161. Peter Wright so far this year. I'm sure that'll be the, as we go down the route towards the O2 Arena in May.
Well, talking to Peter Wright, it'll be interesting to see what darts he comes out with this evening. I think if he plays with the darts he did last week, I think the right was on the wall. However,
or the ones he used in Newcastle, Rodney.
Yes.
Those javelins he was using. Do you remember?
I mean, the points were about a foot long. Nearly put him in the board.
No, he's got to use the equipment that served him so well
140.
over recent weeks, excluding the 2 incidents you mentioned there. He's got to go back to the basics, hasn't he? He cannot afford to be fiddling around with his tungsten against Michael Van Gerwen. That's folly.
Yeah, I mean, he shortened the barrel and went up a couple of grams, and that just made them dive in a little bit too much for me on entering the dartboard, losing a little bit of air time.
105.
That doesn't help.
The only change I'd advise is possibly using 4 darts against Van Gerwen. Yes, it's on. Tops then for Chizzy for 2-1.
69.
Well, here's a chance, Rod, for Wade.
Change required 96.
Well, the way Wade's taken these checkouts out, you've got to fancy him to have a dart at a double, and he can't believe one of those is not in, and they're unlucky or run on the wire. So Chisnall let off a little bit.
40.
So he comes back to the 40. Now, previous leg that he won, he snatched it low on the first one, but he hit the double 10. Oh, that's wild. Last dart in hand, and that's the last dart. That's all Chisnall needs. That was... It could have been a big blow. He would have missed that. Wade coming back for his favourite double, but he just held on to his nerve.
82.
And it is holding on to your nerve with that double 5 with 1 dart in your hand.
Well, Chisnall has held throw twice, but on both occasions Wade had outside opportunities, a 142 attempt and a 96 attempt. Couldn't get the job done 41. On either. Well, didn't even get to the double on either. Chisnall has a TV verdict over Wade, a recent one as well, a convincing one, 11-6 drubbing in the Masters in January. To semi-final, he lost to MVG in the final. In you go.
It's all about the rhythm with Dave Chisnall. He keeps that rhythm and doesn't snatch it too much. He hits that treble 20 so well, and so does James Wade. What a return that was. And here we see that that snatch, and it's a good inch low on that treble. There it goes again.
78, change required 139.
Treble 13 leaves Tops. Perfect for Tops. Would have been his second three-figure finish of the match. As it is, the ideal leave for James Wade, double 10.
134, change required 20.
Will certainly put some pressure on.
In charge of
James
the
Wade.
full flag, James Wade.
He's on form. The double 10 is right at the end of his left hand. And you kind of get the impression, Rodders, that at the moment it's Wade that's going to be the one that breaks the throw. Chisnall's not getting close to him, really.
No, Wade, though, surprisingly really, an eyebrow-raising stat, has only won 2 of his last 13 matches in the Premier League. One of those was against Michael van Gerwen at the start of this year's tournament in Leeds. Real upset win. Great comeback win also for Wade.
Well, when you look at the way Michael's playing now, Rod, you know, Wade has got that one in the bank. And come the end of this, you know, or just 2 before elimination, you don't want to have to try and get 2 points out of Michael van Gerwen.
No, well, James Wade made the point in interview after that win. There won't be many people beating Michael van Gerwen. How prescient that was from James Wade. He's absolutely right. No one has had so much as a crumb from the top table of the great man since then.
David record 136.
Oh dear, he needs to find a treble. That's not the right treble.
Well, here's the break opportunity you were talking about, Rod, isn't it? Exactly here.
Yes, and exactly as he needs to. Well, that 64. Is a get out of jail dart. That one may only leave him 1 dart at a double. Wade, he may if he hits the 51. Oh, he's hit that. He wants the bullseye. And James Wade wins the 3rd leg on the bullseye. The 1-2-1 in the first leg was on the ball, and what a check out. 1-6-1 for James Wade, and there you have it. And that's what he thinks about it. That's a great breaker throw from James Wade.
Oh, what a way to follow it up. Lands the equal highest check out, the 2016 Premier League, the 1-6-1 bullseye finish, and then barrels in with his 3rd maximum of this match.
The boo echoes around this Exeter arena.
60.
They're paying for a 9-dart leg. Mind you, so are we. The only thing missing was last week was the 9-dart. I mean, the darts are incredible. Hell, there wasn't the
60.
9-dart. I will never know.
Well, a very solid throw as he protects his lead, looking to underline the break with a hole
60,
to go 2 clear, and looking
61.
long odds on so to do. Well, he doesn't need to be treating us to another showstopper.
121.
That's a man that's just interested in winning legs and not pleasing anybody else with another 1-6-1 check out. 14 after 12 darts on your throw to go 2 legs clear for James Wade.
Double 10. He cannot afford. Yeah, I think for a moment, he just had a glance at the score there, Ron. If Chisnall had been on maybe even 1-6-1 with needing a bullseye finish at the end of a combination, Wade might have bust that, but 160, 2 double 20s tops, far too risky.
I think you're exactly right. As you said, he glanced across. He thought about busting it, but he doesn't have to worry. That's 2 legs clear for James Wade. Over the last couple of weeks, James has got himself in this position and then had a couple of 3 legs where he really hasn't found the treble.
90.
Just lost his little bit of shape, started to push the dart a bit. He's got to keep that rhythm.
Yes, good point, Rod. He was 5-3 up against Adrian Lewis.
58.
And you see the gap in the averages, 6 points between the players. If Wade were to end up on that 102 and change, it would be his highest of the tournament this year.
140.
He might even up it
140.
Well, he was trying to describe James Wade's throw. You would say straight down the line. Comes straight back. There's no other moving parts in the Wade throw. It's a solid, that's why he's called the machine. And that's another great visit from Wade. All of a sudden, Chisnall is staring another breaker throw down the throat. Oh, this will help. Oh, that's brilliant.
174. James, you've got 170.
Perfect dance. Another there. Oh, had he found the red bit again, he'd have been looking at a third bullseye finish of the match, having already taken out 1-2-1 and 1-6-1. Tops for Chisnall and cannot afford to miss. He cannot afford to miss this. And miss he has. It could be as good as curtains. Unexpected this, to say the least.
30.
Well, you have to say he had the game in the palm of his hand there, James Wade, and he's just passed it over. Dave Chisnall can't believe his luck. Back to the tops. Finally, Dave Chisnall finds the double 10 to keep himself in the game. Now, are we going to see if that's upset Wadey or not? Or can he keep his focus?
100.
Yes, after Chisnall had wired double top 3 times, the odds were that Wade, if not hitting tops, would certainly hit double 10 with one of the 2 darts he still had left in hand, but he couldn't do so, and Chisnall has dragged it back within a solitary leg and a solitary break.
100.
And when you're losing darts matches and missing darts to draw matches, as he did last week against Adrian Lewis,
85.
closing one out here can be a little bit more difficult than it might normally be, Rod, couldn't it, for James Wade?
You're exactly right, and every dart player's been there, from local pub leagues up to the Premier League standard. But this looks a pretty solid leg for James Wade. That's exactly what he's got to do. That's number 2 for Dave Chisnall. Well, now James has already taken this out, but he'd be more interested in just setting this up now. It may go 25 to leave the 96. That's exactly what he's done. There's a big check out for Dave Chisnall, but what an important one this would be.
Wade has had this 96 on offer in the match before. He didn't take it out then, but this time he's hit the treble first dart and 2 at double 18. That's a superb finish, that really is. Particularly after what happened at the back end of the last leg in the 7th. To clean that up and go 5-3 up, impressive.
Yes, very impressive.
82.
And that's why James Wade has won quite a few major TV events. Dip between these teams as well this week. I don't think Dave Chisnall from the outset has been comfortable with his throw. His form's been a little bit, I keep talking about the snatch, the jerk, the thrutch, as our old friend Sid would call it, but it certainly ruins his rhythm, and in certain parts of the game it really is crucifying him.
100.
Well, if he does lose, he'll be on 3 points, and only 3 players will be below him in the table.
140.
And all 3 of those have got to play. Anderson will play Thornton, and Smith plays Van Barneveld in the last match, so he could sink further towards the dreaded black line that separates 8th from 9th in the Premier League table.
'93.
He may go 25 here again. Oh, and he's missed that.
99.
It's not the worst one if you're going to miss it though.
86.
So 86, treble 18. That leaves double 16. And again, the flight, more than the barrel, is hiding that, as we can see that.
54.
That's exactly what happened. Instead of going for the bottom piece
102.
of that double 16, the flight has deflected it. Yeah, A 2 for double top. We've said so many times how good James Wade is at the checkout, just above the 100. That's the third in this match, and it takes him 6-3 in the lead. That's a guaranteed point for James Wade, and he steps up for the win.
Yes, the 102 joining the 121 and the 161 for James Wade. First win in 4 attempts in this year's Premier League. It would hoist him up to 6 points from 6 matches as Chisnall defiantly hits his 3rd maximum. 3 each on the maximum count. But it's the 6-3 in the leg count
60.
that is of more importance.
It seems to me as if Chisnall's thinking, I've lost this, and now he's relaxing a bit and finding treble a little bit better. If he can break him here, he's only going to break him once more, and he's nicked a draw out of this match.
83.
Well, he did this last time, didn't he? Went for the 25 last time. Last time hit the single 19 to leave 102, which he took out. He's already had a 96. Chisnall's looking at tops. That keeps him in it. 6-4 now, and he has the darts in the 11th. If he can hold, it'll go all the way.
Dave to throw first.
Well, it's one leg at a time, Mr. Chisnall. Don't worry about the finishing line, just worry about the darts you're throwing. If he can
46.
win this leg, hold on to his throw, then certainly the pressure will be on James to close it out. But that start is not going to help.
100.
Well, the 104 out.
81.
And some solid stuff here from 315 down. Will at least ask the question of Wade. But there's a lot of those. You alluded to it early on, Rod, didn't you? That the snatch into the single one. We've seen a lot of it in this match. But the action of Chisnall has a propensity to do that, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does, and I don't know whether it will ever go out of his game.
23.
Sometimes you just have to put up with what you got. We know how incredible he is on the treble 20. However, will he win a major with it? At the moment he hasn't. He's had
60.
plenty of chances, put himself in some great positions against Gary Anderson in the semi-final of this tournament last year. 3 clear darts at double 16 and missed them.
140.
That's the game, but that's a great setup from James Wade, and he'll come back for 2 darts at his favourite double top to win this 7-4. Put a big smile on James Wade's face.
To win, and you'd have to say he deserves it. Tops.
17.
Well.
44.
He fashioned the opportunity for himself, but spurned it. Chisnall picks double 18. Double 9. Oh,
35.
he deserted tops. He picked double 18.
40.
And now it's all over. And James Wade wins for the first time in 4 attempts in the Premier League. He controlled the match for much of it. He deserved to win. He has won with an average of 102. Wade wins 7 legs to 4.
Table looks like this. James Wade up to 5th position, 6 points so far. Dave Chisnall stayed in 7th place. Michael van Gerwen taking on Peter Snake by right later in the night. who will finish top of the table. Let's hear from James Wade now, talking to Rod Studd.
James, really well done. I thought that was a really good, solid performance, a game you deserved to win, and you did win it.
Yeah, I must do one thing first. Mother, happy Mother's Day. I've never done it before. Happy Mother's Day, thank you. Yeah, it was a solid performance. Dave missed a lot of shots and a lot of trebles, so give me those opportunities. Unlike last week, I made the most of them this week. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. Really happy.
A couple of big bullseye finishes, 1-2-1 and 1-6-1 as well. They always go down well, don't they?
Do you know what? I only remember one of them. There was a 1-6-1. I didn't realise it 1-2-1. So yeah, I mean, I was, you know, some people, when I look back at that game, some people might think, yeah, I should have won that, but I think Dave left himself in a lot of shots and could have been different. But I've been told to be a little bit more nasty and say, sod him, I won. It's all about me.
Just it's a good win as well, because you've been playing well without getting results, so that got you back on track now, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's also been, like I say, that game was really hard because me and Dave have been spending quite a lot of time together, you know, in the Premier League, and it's hard to play a friend, a true friend, and that's why Dave didn't play as well then, I think, and perhaps why I didn't play as well as I can. So, but you know, we're good friends, and hopefully he'll talk to me afterwards.
I'm sure he will. Well played, James. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Good solid performance from James Wade. 3 ton plus checkouts, doing what we know James Wade does week in, week out.
Yeah, we haven't seen it so much recently though, and that was one of those performances that you're thinking you're going to get from James every single time. He put Dave Chisnall under pressure. He actually outscored Dave for major parts of that game because it was constant, it was relentless. The Suns 140s were flowing, and the thing is with James is when he starts hitting those bullseye finishes, and especially the tops off like the 102 combination, that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin. Even though Dave nearly got back into it, he's so tough to beat, James Wade, because of that kind of shot. The 161 was majestic. He had a freedom about his game tonight. The arm was flowing, he was fluent. And there was a speed that we don't normally see from James. Because that rhythm was there, I think he got into Dave's kind of way of thinking. Right, I'm just going to go and play. And I think he was the smoother of the two. He felt more comfortable on the stage. It was just his night. He played better than Dave Chisnall tonight, even though coming into this week, Dave was the better player, but not tonight, and that's all that matters.
Next little Scottish battle, Robert Thornton against Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson played really well last week in Aberdeen. Gary
plays well most of the time now. the twice and reigning world champ. There's not much that can go wrong with his throw. Robert Thornton, Rod Harrington alluded to the fact that he doesn't think he's 100% healthy as yet. He had a real bad chest infection. Maybe he's not 100%, but he's not playing well either. That doesn't mean that he can't get anything from the game, because we know that Robert's capable. Doing it when it matters is all that matters in sport anyway. But Gary, for me, he's playing too well. He's too confident. He just looks $1 million when he's playing well, and it's quite off-putting when you're his opponent. I think he will win this game.
Is the reigning Premier League champion, is the reigning champion of the world, the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson. It's Exeter next.
The man is an absolute genius.
To finally get my hands on it was a wee bit special.
It's the creme de la creme.
The world's a great place if you're Gary Anderson.
Blink and you will miss it, dance. The Flying Scotsman goes back to back and retains his world title. The greatest year of his life.
Betway sponsors Premier League darts on Sky Sports.